Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fiscal Client Talks. Today, I am joined by Meltzer, who is an advisor to Davids Natural Toothpaste, and he serves as a CEO advisor for Natural Davids Toothpaste. Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to join me.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you for having me.
What would you describe your role to the Davids team? Did I say that correct?
Yeah,
Did you say CEO advisor?
I'm a strategic advisor to the CEO and management team and really have been a partner to them in architecting and navigating the growth strategy.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, I've been
Cool.
working with Eric for about 4.5 years. Eric
Interesting.
Voss, the founder of Davids Health Sciences, yes.
Great. Okay. Thanks for the correction. There, we'll speak a bit about you know your role a bit more. What is your background, Sky? What
Yeah,
did you
so
study?
what did I
Where did you
study?
start out? Yes, start from the
I'm a
beginning.
business builder. I studied economics. I went to Stanford. I was an economics major. My early career was shaped first by corporate finance and then second by brand marketing and brand strategy. So I learned how companies are financed and how the capital markets work and how brands are shaped and what the process is of sculpting and shaping and launching brands. And then I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug
Hmm.
in my late 20s, and yoga was booming, and I had started practicing yoga to help heal a leg injury, and I had the opportunity to raise some money to buy a business called Manduka out of the garage of the founder, and it was kind of known it had a cult following across the world. It was two SKUs, and it was known as like the Bentley of yoga mats. And so
Hmm.
we bought that business. I was the CEO there for 8.5 years, built a global brand, um, distribution across the US and the world, and went from two to about 2,000 SKUs. It was a really great experience. It's really fun. Lots of lessons. Went through a couple private equity exits, and on the on the flip side of that, I've learned and I realized that my brand of leadership in this season of my life is really supporting founders and helping them be great CEOs and helping them lead, manage their company, or help them build growth in whatever way that I can support them. And so that's one of the roles I play at Davids.
Very cool. Just to backtrack to you spoke about when you was in college and studying these different majors. What subject do you actually think made the most sense in terms of theory to practical entrepreneurship, building
Oh,
business? Like, what do you
it's
think
a
is the
great
main?
question. I went to liberal arts school, Stanford, so economics was the closest thing to business, which is why I study economics, and it was uninspiring economics to me. I wish I would have. So I was thinking about this morning. I would have studied engineering. I think it would have gotten me closer to product and how products are made. And if I did study engineering, I would have studied human biology. But the bottom line is, it's not really about what you study in college, you know?
Mm. No, I know. I'm just curious. I know that for sure. I think my journey had essentially the same path. Um, you said you spoke about a lot of lessons learned throughout your career. Uh, we'll speak about that again. But if there's anything worth sharing while we're on this topic, what would you call out in that exciting
Um,
career that you have this far?
Maybe you can ask me a more specific question because
Okay.
I can take that in a lot of different ways.
In 8 years of being the CEO of growing this company internationally, you spoke about 2,000 SKUs. Um, I guess as you were scaling and growing a cold company, what is the main thing that you know to grow this company? To scale a company? What would you say is the main learning?
Main lesson?
Yes.
I mean, I think the role as a CEO changes dramatically, right? When a business is in its younger phases, the CEO may touch almost everything, has a pulse on everything, right? And that's how businesses are built. Somebody has a product idea, commercial instinct, makes the product, gets it into the marketplace, and to go, that's like 0 to 1, and to go to like 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or 1 to whatever, it's like, how do you take what's working and expand it? And to do that, it's about people, right? So then you start hiring people and the culture changes and the role of the CEO changes, and it becomes much less tactical and much more strategic and much more, how good a manager are you, and how good are you at hiring people, and how far ahead of the curve are you on where you're going. So I think that's like the I think that's one of the big lessons, is that it's a very dynamic experience and one that requires a lot of adaptability.
Interesting. So when you speak about a CEO becoming less tactical and more strategic, what would you say is that, I don't know if we want to do like a little pie chart, i.e. how they should spend their time, or rather, what is the main thing that they should be focusing on? I know there's probably, yes, a CEO that's scaling, growing a business. Let's say you've passed the 20 million mark. You've got proof of concept. You've got momentum.
Like, one of the great things about, if you're a founder CEO, right, or if you are a CEO, even, you get to build an organization that supports what you love to do and what you're good at. So it's a question that could have several answers, but like classically, and I think like, what does a CEO need to be doing? It's team managing, like hiring great people, performance managing the hires. So building culture. And so that's one. It's money. So it's making sure that there's enough money for what you need now and where you're going, fundraising, investor relations, everything that comes with capital, right? And the third thing is commercialization. So product sales, marketing, however the business is growing or needs to grow. So focusing on, growth, the people, and the money.
Nice. Do you have a framework that you use for this, or is this just, experience?
I do not have a framework it's just experience, I would say. Yeah.
Cool.
I suppose it is but yeah.
It's Sky's framework, right? Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Tell me, Sky, but you're also involved in a couple other businesses.
I am, yes. I have a portfolio of businesses where I advise the CEO and leadership team. My background and domain of expertise is consumer health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So consumer brands under 100 million with growth opportunities, where there's a founder-led CEO and that I can help support. And big part of my success was having a chairman or a advisor or an investor that was there 24/7 for me when I needed something, and to help me
When you were CEO.
When I was CEO, help me break through my own limiting belief systems or limited capacity or time. And so that's a role that I really like to play today in helping founder-led businesses achieve their vision.
Do you have a specific amount of clients that you will work with? Do you have like a hard and fast rule, or how do you decide on your portfolio? How do you divide your time, I guess is what I'm trying to understand.
I mean, so I have a couple very integrated roles that I could only do a couple of those, like Davids is one of them, right? And then I have a handful of CEOs that I'll coach or advise or check in with from time to time, and that's very scalable. right? But I love building and I love helping founders and CEOs. So that's a more integrated approach. So I have capacity for a few
Hmm. Okay,
at a time. Yeah.
got you. We'll speak about what's next for David, but what is next for Sky? Are you pretty comfortable with your roles at the moment? Like, do you want to expand your specific business, or how do you think about it?
I am very happy with the work that I do. I love it. And I love serving the businesses that I serve today. And I'm a father of 4 young kids. And so I'm good and life is dynamic. And I continue to look for and engage in opportunities that are of interest. And, I love this book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Have you read it?
No.
But it's a great book, and he talks about time and people's relationship to time. And this is a page out of Gay Hendricks' book, but it's the idea of like all the time in the world to do all the things that you love, right? No time in the world to do any of the things you don't love. And so that's kind of my litmus test is if
Hmm.
it's something that I love, if I feel I'll be good at it, and I work it in.
Nice. Cool, Sky. Thank you for sharing a bit about yourself. Let's quickly move along to where we met. Um, and yeah, if you don't mind sharing, like, how did we meet? Why did you reach out to Fiskal? Um, do you recall?
Yeah. So Davids uses Sin 7/core, and we were looking for the next evolution of our financial management and financial department. And Fiskal is renowned as, I think, are you vendor of the year or the gold vendor, or you have an accolade tied to core or Sin 7. What is it? Something special.
Accounting partner of the year.
Accounting partner of the year. Yes. So, so we reached out to Fiskal. And Pierre, you responded in about 30 minutes or an hour.
Hmm.
I think one of the hallmarks of Fiskal is a high service standard. So that was evident from the onset. And that's how we met.
Right. And in your words, how would you describe what work we do for Davids?
Yeah, so I think there really are two components, but it ladders up to one, which is IT systems and accounting management. And I think one of the things that's special about Fiskal is that, I mean, these days, your books are only as good as your systems and the integrity of the data. And so to work with Fiskal is to work with a partner that's tied into the systems and the accounting. And that's been a great benefit to David's and the experience of working with Fiskal.
Thank you for sharing that. Sky, one last question that I always like to ask as well is like, what is when you are essentially doing your due diligence on specific vendors to support whatever that is, what are the things that you look out for? So what is it that makes you actually move forward with a specific vendor? And we can use Fiskal as well as an example, but what is that one thing that makes it a yes or no?
I didn't catch the last part of that question. The one thing that what?
Makes it a yes or a no?
Okay. Well, look, I think in choosing any vendor, it starts with a brief, like what is the strategic objective, right? And sharing that with the partner and understanding the core competencies of the partner and if they map to it. And checking references and understanding what client experiences are. And then I think the final thing is adaptability, because there is, I'm going into a relationship. I think you shared this pre-recording, but like words carry different meanings for different people. So you might have a set of services and we might have a set of needs. And are we talking the same language? Maybe
Mm.
not, right? You learn
Mm.
about it. I think there was a fair amount of adaptability and just desire to make it work and listen to what our needs are, not only for right now, for where we were going. And that was, a good sell point for us.
Correct. Okay, that's interesting. I also want to get into you just spoke about our relationship and then how it started and then how we got busy with specific projects. And in this journey of working together, things aren't always perfect, right? Things don't necessarily play out as one thinks it is going to. And I think you just touched on it. A big part of that is understanding what we do for you and then you understanding like what problems we are solving for you. Um, what are some of the other things that you feel Fiskal can improve in and got wrong along the journey of supporting Davids?
What are some of the things Fiskal got wrong? Did you say?
Yes.
And what was the first part of that question?
What we can essentially improve on in this
Oh,
journey of working
that's a brave
together.
question here. um, I think
You can be honest.
there's a high amount of I I've experienced a lot of adaptability and willingness to say yes from Fiskal. And there have been times where a structure would have served us better, and a no would have served us better. Or a not that way, but this way is really right.
Mm.
And an example is um, a forecast is part of our scope of work, right? Building a forecast, building a budget, annual budget is part of the scope of work. That budget was co-created with Fiskal, not just Fiskal saying this is our process. We co-created it, but the output of that co-creation doesn't totally line up with the monthly reporting process of Fiskal, and so we have a struggle there. That's an example.
Thanks. That's a good example. Yes, exactly. Placing where does that fit in? Cool. That's useful. Thank you, Sky. Let's pull it back to David's for a second. Where does David find itself at the moment? And what are the interesting things that the company is discussing in terms of trajectory? Obviously, you can share what you don't have to share anything confidential, but for the size of David and the momentum that you have, what are the interesting things that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, Davids is at a really exciting frontier. It is a business that makes a remarkably great product that is both beautiful and works really well. And we're in a
Do you
moment
use
where,
it?
oh
Just on
yeah,
the quick. Okay, we do too. I
of
just wanted
course,
to double check.
I sure do. Um, and I love the many flavors that David's offers, and it's fun to have um, different flavors of toothpaste, which is something I never would have imagined as a Crest or Colgate user. And that's one of the things of David's, like when you really unpack the story, and there's so much that we can share with the world. But our founder Eric has scrutinized, combed the world and the U.S. particularly, but for the absolute best ingredients, right? And so it's like in a world where I'm a foodie, so I cook and I spend a lot of time at the farmers markets, and I care so much about the sourcing of what I feed myself and my family. And that's inherent in David's product. And it's like one of those things that, like, I notice a lot of people will spend money on good food and then use a lousy toothpaste or some other product that's going in their body, right? So not only is it such a clean ingredient panel, but it also tastes so good, right? So you have this experience that's like really wonderful. So yes, I use it. I think oral care 2.0 is a lot of people are talking about is like taking hold. It's a really exciting moment. There's a lot coming out on the connection to the health of our mouth and how it impacts the health of our well-being. There's a lot coming out about fluoride, and as just, there's only so much toxic load we can carry as humans, and there's a lot around us. And we have excellent ingredients that, when we've done studies, work as well or better than some of the leading, like, giants in the space. So there's just a lot of exciting happenings in terms of where innovation is happening with oral care, and an awakening, I think, in people starting that it's not just about the food, it's not just about the makeup, it's getting into like our everyday products that maybe we've just been habitualized to use. And so I think Davids has a great opportunity before it to continue to forge the way and really make a great impact in people's lives.
Well said. That's a yeah. That's a very nice way of explaining where David sits. I wanted to ask what's next for Davids, but I think you already answered that. I think it seems like Davids is sitting pretty is well positioned, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and that there's a lot of different directions that you and Eric can steer it into. Yeah, I guess my question, when you're in a position like that, do you play offense or defense? Like, do you just ensure that you keep on doing the right thing? Are you more aggressive with expanding? I know the company is growing pretty fast, but how do you think about offense or defense when you're in such a good position at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's you can't win with just one, right?
One
There's a
product?
lot of low quality knockoffs coming in the marketplace, right? So there's a defense game there, but it's more offense than defense, right? I think awakening people who have been using a low quality product that even has claims on it that, if swallowed, is toxic, right? Just like getting more people to understand that there's a choice, and it dramatically can improve your life and your experience brushing your teeth. Like, I don't know about you, but like, if you are traveling and you don't have Davids and you use a regular toothpaste, what, like, after, I mean, being used to it, do you notice the difference?
I mean, I would love to hear your opinion on this. So my dentist said that we should alternate between fluoride and non-fluoride. So I alternate between Davids, and
Okay,
then
so you do, yeah.
I do. I'm not sure if I would love to get your take on it. So yeah, when we travel, I believe we use a smaller um, Sensodyne. But what's your opinion on that in terms of fluoride
Look,
versus
I'm not a
non-fluoride?
medical professional. I can say for me, I don't ever need to use fluoride for the rest of my life. I have no desire to. I know that our customers will rave about the experience they have coming out of the dentist office when they've been using nanohydroxyapatite in their toothpaste instead of fluoride, right? And then I've looked at the actual studies that the
Mhm.
business has performed against many of these toothpastes that are recommended, and it works as well, and in a lot of times better, you
So
know?
when you say they rave, do they rave about the fact that um, there's just less bacteria? Do they rave about the dent or the cleaner or the dentist told them that your mouth's in a good space? What do
Yeah,
they?
like improvement
Okay,
in plaque and gum health and etc.
cool. These users floss as well?
I mean, this is why it's but and there's a lot of variables. I can't speak on behalf of that. I believe very strongly in the product, and we see through thousands of reviews, tens of thousands, right? And then the science
Yeah.
is there, as
Mm.
well as the science that's showing that some of the traditional products, or the ingredients in the traditional products, aren't healthy for us, right? So we have that.
Mm.
But there's another interesting frontier which is not only about more people understanding about the choice they can make in their toothpaste, right? It's also the ritual of how you take care, like your oral care. It's not necessarily just brushing and, it's flossing and brushing. There is, we offer an oil pulling, which is really amazing because oil pulling gets beneath the gum level.
Mm-hmm.
And our mouthwash is incredible. And all together, what it does is really powerful, right? So I think there's an awareness of like how to improve and enhance an oral care routine as well.
On the topic of the one piece of advice or the one thing that you would do, I always like to end this with asking that specific question, like what is the one piece of advice that you have learned throughout your journey about business, in doing business? If you are a business owner, what a young business owner or someone starting out, like, what is that one piece of advice that you will give someone
And
about
I would
doing
say
business?
just follow your intuition and continue to hone your intuition and listen to it. Because like, as I was saying, like, and that's kind of like a duh to some founders. It's like the creation of a product has an intuitive path to it often. As the role of CEO grows and is dynamic, as we were talking about, like more people, more money, investors, everybody has an opinion, right? This is the way you do it, etc. And I think that through that journey, just being relentlessly following your intuition is really important, because all the logic in the world doesn't shape commercial instinct always, right? Commercial instinct and understanding of the customer, what people need, where they are going. A lot of that is driven by intuition.
Nice. And I'm assuming part of what you try to set out to achieve is to essentially hone in on that and have the CEOs almost go back to their roots. So you try and help them stick to that. So instead of trying to advise them all the time, providing all of this added opinion, you try to have them curate it themselves. Is that
Well,
part of like your?
it's great. I mean, like I am a I would say my work is grounded in thoughtfulness, logic, strategy, right? That is often at odds with a founder's intuition. So all the strategy in the world doesn't matter sometimes, right? So I would say it
Okay,
differently, like the strategy helps, it's scaffolding to grab onto,
right.
but it's not more important, right?
Very interesting. Sky, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, especially in summer with the kids being at the home, but I really appreciate it.
Surprised they didn't bang the door down the last 30
Yeah.
minutes. Thank you, Pierre.